Is it a crazy idea to think that you buy a home in 2024 at a higher interest rate in the hopes that in the next couple of years when the RBA drops the rates because we're at the peak rate, that you then refinance it at a cheaper rate, but at least in 2024, you've got yourself into the property market rather than buying in, say, 2026 or 2027. Is that a great idea? Let's jump into my table and break it down. So the question is it better to buy now and just refinance in the future? For example, in 2024, you went and bought a property under $800,000 because in New South Wales, anything under $800,000, you don't need to pay stamp duty. You go for the first home guarantee scheme, you only need to put down $40K. And then you get a loan for $760K, which is 95% of $800K at a rate of 6.3%. This is discounted because under the first home guarantee scheme, you get discounted at 6.3. It's usually about 6.95 to 7%. The repayment is about 4.7K. So this establishes the first point. You buy now, you get the higher rate because a lot of people are like, hey, the rate's kind of high. I'm going to wait a bit, right? So let's say you bit the bullet and you bought now. A couple of years later, in 2026, say the rate, drove down to 5%, right? And then say for example, you refinanced it, but right now in 2026, because you paid this on principal and interest, the 4.7K, your loan is no longer 760K, it's about 741K. At 5.5% interest, which I think the RBA will start cutting rates in the next 2 or 3 years, the repayment will be $4,200. So what happens is there will be a $500 a month reduction in your repayments on this home that you purchased in 2024. Now, this is a deal breaker in terms of answering this question. Should I buy now and endure higher rates or wait until 2026 when rates are a bit lower and get into the market? Well, it all depends whether the property that you are planning to buy now will still stay at $800,000 in 2026. Now, that's a rhetorical question because what that statement means in terms of Australian property is that this is time and this is, for example, 2024 and this is the value of the property. This is what you're saying. You're saying, oh, I buy in 2026 when rates are low, assuming that the market will just plateau and stay $800,000 in 2025 and $800,000 in 2026. Do you seriously think with the way the government's running the show in terms of housing affordability, with the rise of immigration coming into Australia, big demand, limited supply, and a slow growth of new builds in Australia, that prices won't go up? Based on my spreadsheet, if you bought a property at $800,000 in June, at the end of June 2025, at a 4% capital growth, which is very conservative in Sydney, by the way, if you're buying in Sydney, it will be $832,000 market value. And then this market value goes up by 4%. Average annual growth, which is very conservative, it will then be worth $865K. Say in 2026, you want to buy the same property, it's now worth $865K. You didn't want to buy now and secure a rate at 6.3 because it's too high. You wait until 2026 to get into the market. And say you got a mortgage at 95% because you only want to put down 5% deposit, it will be $43,000 and not $40,000. And by the way, you've exceeded the $800K limit and you have to pay bloody stamp duty on this. So right now, the mortgage is now $822K and the repayment on 5.5 of $822K is $4.6K per month. That is an extra $400 per month in this repayment compared to $4,200 per month if you did the buy now and refinance later strategy. But back to the question, is it a crazy idea to buy now at a higher rate and then refinance a couple of years at a lower rate? You're crazy not to do it. Unless you're 100% more crazy than me and think properties will just plateau from 2024 to 2026. And you can simply delay buying the property on the fact that this $800K property over here will in 2026 be $800K. You'd be joking. It probably will be double by then. Well, jump in the comments. Let me know what you think.